they like so-called first world countries, and we are third world countries. Why is that?
Yo, what up, you?
Yes,
Guess who's back?
Hey, yo, it's your boy Haitian the Crib.
And your boy Zoo.
Mar, emphasis on the Mar.
Nigga.
Stop playing with me, bro.
Stop playing with me.
I bet. Good evening, guys. Welcome to our unpopular opinion section. Today we're going to be touching on something that I'm actually I think we're both passionate about.
Yeah.
You know what? Once in a while you sit and ask yourself, like, as a young black man, and obviously that's what the perspective that we can speak from, and hopefully some of you will resonate. Not as in a young, but just as a black person, right? You sit and you wonder, why do we always have to travel overseas and they like so-called first world countries, and we are third world countries? Why is that the case? But then again, you sit and you look at the most basic thing and you realize we have minerals, we have also so much to offer, just as everyone else. But then we are continuously at the bottom, right? And I'm assuming we all know when we stay at the bottom economically, in terms of infrastructure in our countries, and just leadership and everything that comes with it, right? In terms of what's supposed to build the community.
And just to interject a little bit quickly, you know when they say about third world country, you know what Mobutu said?
What?
We're not third world country, we're just under-equipped.
Exactly.
Because the fact that we're just under-equipped. And it made so much sense, bro. We just don't have the equipment. We're on our way to getting them. Don't call us third world. What is third world first?
Exactly. The fact that somebody has the audacity to call other countries that, because it's from their perspective, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I wanted us to sort of like tap into, so recently Ghana had an inauguration of the new president.
Yeah.
Right? And I know everyone most likely knew.
What was the old president name? Is it Nana Akafo? Is it?
Yes, let's just check that out. Ghana president. President name. Yeah.
This is John
Mahama.
But who is he replacing?
This is it's replacing Nana. Yeah.
I was right.
So now, I'm sure we all for obviously new viewers. Especially, this is something that I'm very passionate about in terms of the younger people, to also sort of like listen to this segment and try to pay attention, right? So I'm sure you know, in Mali, Burkina Faso, and is in New Guinea, Niger, right? I don't call those coup d'etats. I call those revolutions, right? Someone that's just over the past 2 years, Captain Ibrahim Traoré from Mali,
Traoré,
he's done so much work. Like, they chased out the French, they've taken back the mines, they just recently had their own gold bars. This information is on Google, is on YouTube, go and watch, right? He's reforming the education system. Like, they're doing so much, they're obviously teaming up with Russia and China. But then again, and the way he's going about it, you can tell that he's doing the right deals.
Yeah, he's going with it surgically.
It doesn't make sense how like leaders in Africa is taking them 80 years, 100 years just to fix something that is taking this guy. I don't know, like
2 years, if maximum 3.
And what was so paining? What was such a pain is that fact that the ECOWAS, which is I think the the West Africa Economic Bloc, right? Wanted to go and intervene. Nigeria was putting troops, Tinubu was putting troops to go intervene in a country that is trying to get back its sovereignty in all manners. So, we just want to sort of like listen to the speech, right? And it's gonna tie into the exit, and we'll say why. His speech at the inauguration, right? I want you guys to pay attention, listen, and listen. So we're gonna tap subscribe because this is consciousness. Please listen, and then let's have that conversation. Very important. This could be Africa turning a detour to greatness, to just us living our lives and being proud of who we are as Africans, and our country is developing and being like everyone else. We don't have to die for other people's sake, you know?
To conclude my speech by wishing that your stay here in Ghana is crowned with success and blessings. May God, the Almighty and the Merciful, the nation, we will overcome. Together, with faith and determination, we will overcome all obstacles. In life or in death, we will win. It is an immense pleasure and an honor to be here among you. And it is for this that I thank God for allowing this meeting to take place.
And by the way, this is IBRAHIM Traoré.
Traoré, yes.
God, thank you. 10:56. We were able to arrive well this morning, and we are very proud to be among you and to exchange with you. It is really an honor. First of all, I would like us to observe a minute of silence in memory of all our martyrs.
Je vous remercie. Souhaitez donc bonne et heureuse année 2025. Priez Dieu.
Who fell under this barbarity. Thank you. I would like to wish you a happy new year, 2025. May God bless you and grant you a healthy life. May God make all your businesses successful, prosperous, and may there be union and love in your respective families and among you. May God protect you throughout this year, 2025, and help you realize your dreams. I would also like to pay tribute to our valiant fighting forces, who fight with their body and soul, as you can see, so that our Burkina Faso remains standing. Noble work, men of integrity. Each time they...
Another legend that he actually looks up to, and actually the whole country looks up to, is Thomas Sankara.
Yeah, Thomas Sankara, yeah.
So you guys, it's also from Burkina Faso. You guys also need to go and check and get informed.
Those are the eras of your Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, your Marcus Garvey. Those names, guys, please.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
They throw themselves.
And also, I'd just like to highlight talks of men of integrity, and I think that's something that we really like in Africa. Men that are willing to take these things on the back and not just do it for the check, but be passionate about your people and look at, even if you wanna do it for the check, but look at Africa in the long run. You know, there's the new technological. We got so much minerals. We got so much of the youth. Manpower,
actually, the majority
of the youth population is in Africa.
And you know us, bro, we pop kids, bro, so the youth is not a problem.
Dude, other European countries are having problems.
So
They're having problems that a major part of their workforce is going to retire as old age, so they need
the new people, and that's why you think that they let you guys migrate to Europe just for like this, but they let you migrate because there's no more youth, there's not a lot of youth, so they need a lot of people to work, right? So that's why they need some of this workforce. That's why they just let refugees come through in and out. But anyway,
they know well that some will stay there, but duty calls them. This is the job of the army. We often feel nostalgic, but those who have the chance to defend Burkina Faso today, we must encourage them and applaud them. When they leave, we will not cry for them, and we will have pity on our fate. If we cry for them, we must avenge them. Pay tribute to them as much as you can, because it does not allow anyone to get up and leave their homes to face the dangers, knowing well that they may not return in the evening. But this is what they do every day, and they have sworn to defend our dear country until the supreme sacrifice. And the fighting forces hold their bet. Today,
I'm sorry, I just want to add on that, right? The emphasis is on people putting their lives on the line because they understand the vision this man brings to the table. Right? He's taking his country to a whole different level. He's trying to make it what a country should be, what an independent country should be. You know what was so funny? Today on the news, I saw the BBC or the CNA released news segment saying that IBRAHIM Traoré, it was concerning that Traoré, it was concerning that when he went to the inauguration, he had a gun on him. Who felt threatened? Everybody welcomed it with warm hands. You can just say like they don't respect Africa, they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
And that's actually a very major problem.
And then we need to take it serious, guys, because not going off a tangent, right? But when we say standardization for Africa, as much as we were not independent, but when we say standardization in Africa, it meant a wipeout of our culture, a wipeout of who we are. Well, for everyone else, it's sort of like just a means to communicate in a standard way where we all understand each other. Like, let's say for SI units, measurement units and all of that, you know what I mean? Something that's standard that we can all use to then translate information.
True. More than ever, our armed forces go wherever they want. At the moment I speak to you, there are several operations through several groups, and we are inflicting colossal losses on the enemy and pushing him back.
So talking about also his army going everywhere they want, but so there's some parts in the country, but even the army itself was not supposed to. So finally now, because he's young and he's
and the reason why they kicked out the French, base camps there, those French UN peacekeepers are not there. They were actually promoting insurgencies or whatever they would call it, terrorism, right?
They were allegedly.
It's not allegedly, bro. We all know the files are there. The CIA conspiring in countries to get rid of leaders and all of that. It's
but those files are there. Bro.
Yeah, so it's not. Allegedly, if you want to say it, great. But then this is my opinion, right? And there is information out there. So you know what I mean.
Little by little, out of Burkina Faso, this battle, this war, we are going to win it, and we are going to overcome imperialism, which activated these terrorism in our region, to hope to bring us back in these colonial times, to maintain us under their yoke, to exploit us until the end of time. Africa is waking up, and no one can still close the eyes of Africans on our realities.
Please stop that.
Yeah, so I was just gonna raise a quick point there. You know, like after colonization finished, right? There was an after. There was a plan of an after colonization.
So can I not interject? Ne? I just want to rephrase that part. Colonization didn't finish. They restructured it different.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. That's where I'm going. There was a plan of an after colonization, right? So that's what they call neo-colonialism. So after everybody left, right? After we supposedly got our independence, which was not actually true. The presence of the colonial power was just not present anymore. But they had people who was actually doing the bidding for them. And for a couple of years, it has always been the same thing. You pick somebody, but you think you elect that president, but deep inside, you didn't elect that president. It was really picked some way.
Yeah.
Put in there. Reason why some of our presidents are not doing what they're supposed to do. Why is it so hard to just create factories? It's a simple thing.
Industrialize.
Anybody can industrialize, but somehow, some way, none of these people does it.
And then look at what he's doing.
And look at what he's doing, and they're actually trying to fight him. And I think as the youth, we also really need to get involved in a little bit of politics and know
where
we're going, what we want to do, and unity is key. Is key. And what keep them going is because those three countries that had those supposedly coup d'etat, they unite, and that's why they managed to live. They managed to live until now.
And they left even the ECOWAS. And you know what is so funny, right? Not funny, but it was a traumatic thing that I saw today in Nigeria. A tanker overturned, and people were trying to steal the fuel, and it exploded. 86 people injured, apparently plus or minus 50 confirmed or fried there and there. You know what I mean? And then you look at how, so Nigeria is producing oil, but it gets sent out for it to just get bought back at an astronomical prices. Now people are desperate, right? Because Nigeria's economy, as much as it might be, I think it ranks top 3 or top 4 top 5, let's say, in GDP for 2024
in the world.
in Africa.
No, in Africa it's top 3. Man.
No, it was. I think it was a 4th because South Africa was first, and then right. Yeah. So sorry. So that I don't go off a tangent.
Yeah.
Now, Dangote, Aliko Dangote wanted to build a refinery. Like, guys, let me build a refinery so we don't have to, export it just to refine it. It's a simple process.
Yeah.
I mean, we have engineers in Africa. What are we all studying for if it's not to get the expertise to do what everyone else is doing? Look at what Japan did. Look at what China did. Like, Africans literally said and watched China save themselves. Indonesia saved themselves. The Saudis went from a desert to, I don't know what you want to call it, the UAE. And we're just sitting and watching the world pass us by. Guys, we need to start asking ourselves certain questions. Is this, what the funny part is, right? And I don't mean to go off a tangent. I was doing linear algebra, first year linear algebra, and I was watching an MIT lecturer. And Professor something Stuttgart, we'll probably have to put that in there, right? Hubert something. He said the only reason why Newton and your Einstein and all of them are great to us is because they lived before us. So they're going to develop those things then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except that we can also be great as youth of Africa. We can also change the world. We just don't have to be like, okay, this is what the world is, and we just have to accept it.
And one other thing that was never available to us is information, right? And right now, information is at the tip of your fingers, right? You can know anything you want to know. You can get informed anytime you want to do. So information builds empires, bro. So we also need to start trying to get a little bit informed about most things that require our culture and where we need to go. And technology and computer science,
everything,
doctor and herbs, right? Why don't we really invest into like herbal
green
herbal
science?
Medicine, like
Dr. Sebi. We don't have to tell you guys these things, please, guys. Shall we?
Yeah, shall we?
No one can still come to divide us, to impose on us what they want. That's why we have done everything to be here today to speak to you, but also to come and wish good luck to President John Mahama. We wish him good luck because the challenges are numerous. Many challenges await him, and I wish that you can accompany your brothers here. Pan-Africanism is a rather complex, but you, people, it is quite easy for you to lead this Pan-Africanism, well, because the people must love each other. The people must support each other. The problem very often of Pan-Africanism is among us, leaders, but we are going to put everything in place so that the leaders can go in the direction of their people, because the peoples are already integrated, they are Pan-African. If today, Ghana just...
Very important. The people are already integrated because you live each other. Tribalism on the side.
Yeah, bro.
See the bigger picture.
And I think for Pan-Africanism to work, as black people in Africa specifically, we need to be, how do I say it? We need to have that freedom of movement. Bro.
Yeah.
Because in a way, bro, the reason why I personally feel like we love each other, like let's say we find ourselves in France, bro. In France, but you're not Senegalese, you're not Congolese, you black, bro.
You black. When they see you in Europe, you black before anything.
And that's why you see majority of the people that are in Europe, they understand that, okay, we are actually one, bro. You only, maybe when you get there, that's when you understand we're actually one, and that's where you get to develop that Pan-Africanism. But for us, on the continent, to develop that thing, we need to move, bro, to understand that, oh, shit, I can't sleep with a belt. In my culture, I can't sleep with a belt. It's a bad thing. And I go in Zambia, find out, oh, it's the same culture.
Oh, yeah,
it's the same culture, and find out such a little thing like that can...
There's similarities, there's affinities and differences.
Such a little thing, man. Such a little thing can create a bond between us. And freedom of movement is actually something that we really advocate for us.
But everything needs to come correct. That's why he's saying,
the
people are already integrated, right? To a certain extent. Leaders are the problem. So hopefully.
Decided to bring President John Mahama to the head of the country. It is a strong message, and I wish that you, Burkinabe, living in Ghana, you can accompany President John Mahama. The task will be difficult. there are certainly challenges to come on the security level, on the economic level. I wish that you can accompany the forces of defense and security in Ghana as much as you can, both on the intelligence level and on the economic level as you can. Support them as if you were supporting the Burkinabe armed forces. I'm telling you something, the challenges can be very numerous. In no case should you lose hope. You must accompany them and help them on all levels. One nation does not survive as long as it does not have a strong army. This is why I reiterate to you to support the forces of defense and security in Ghana. It is they who can help the country to rise to the economic level and to flourish. Then, I urge you to love the people here, to live in perfect symbiosis, in perfect harmony, as you are already doing very well.
Accompagner le président John Mahama. La tâche sera difficile.
As I said, the peoples are already integrated. The problem is at the level of the leaders. Continue in this sense. Support your brothers in Ghana. Support them as much as you can. 1650. And above all, show this integrity. A country of integrated people must be a model. Burkina Faso must not create a problem. Burkina Faso must be a solution. You have always known how to behave through all your leaders here. Wish this dynamic to continue and that you can accompany the new president in his enormous task to revive the country's economy and above all, to defend this country. We will work together to strengthen cooperation between Burkina Faso and Ghana, and also between the AES and Ghana, because we have many challenges together and we have always been able to overcome them. The arrival of the new president must be a moment for us to warm up these relations and to bring them to the highest level. In the coming days, we will be able to see what can be done for the benefit of Burkinabe, of the interior, as well as of you who are here. The grievances immediately raised by the representative are current grievances, and I think that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has to be able to reorganize the diaspora so that we can solve these problems as easily as possible. This is why the councils have been established and the administrative documents and other documents you need to express your nationality are being modernized. If you follow the news, we certainly have documents.
I think we can stop it there, right? Because this is just he's touched on the most important things that I want us to look at. He said, for a country to be sovereign or for a country, it needs to be security, your security and your economy.
Okay, I found this on the website. He said for a country to be sovereign or if a country...
Thank you, Siri. Right?
Yeah.
Very important.
Those are things that are very important. You need your sovereignty, which come with a very strong army, but an economy which comes with the people which are in the country, right? You can't actually think we can rely on other people to come and build for you guys.
Bro,
the economy is built in within.
IMF relying on other people for money.
Well, we must go.
Oh, African countries always who IMF. Why do you always have to borrow us money?
No, but we don't have to.
You are sending your army into our country. So what happened to our army?
The army will never want to be strong, bro, because you believe in other people want to protect you, bro. And we actually that's why I say we really need to invest into our sovereignty and economy. Those things work together,
bro.
They work.
You know what was funny again? Yeah. Today we on that news outlet, right?
Yeah.
They released a segment, Africa's top armies, South Africa #1 or Nigeria ranked #1. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah. African countries need to get nukes. We need to have what everyone else has so that we know we can protect ourselves. Because only when we can protect ourselves, and no one can then tell us that they're going to come into our country and then they're going to take our minerals and do it. Because look at what's happening in our country, in Congo, right? Look at what's happening. There's nothing wrong with using the coltan or whatever you want to call it, right? But do it in the right way, process it in the country, let the country benefit. But Apple will tell you, oh no, they stopped buying. Then where, bro, guys. And then just to close this off, and I want to show you that, like, this is common knowledge. It's really out there. People say it out so blatantly with no regard whatsoever. This is a guy explaining, I think it's a professor from, I don't know, France, explaining why, as you can see, why people don't want to see Africa develop.
Yeah.
Very short, and then we're gonna close it off.
From him, he said, quote, "No one is interested in Africa developing too much," end quote. He explains why these Western nations do not want
Squeeze those cheeks, bro. I so dislike that guy sitting next to Biden there, Congo. Squeeze those big cheeks till it's sort of like dry. No, bro, the country is dying. The country is dying and he's just getting fed up.
Bro, this is some bullshit.
Africa to develop. And he pretty much exposes how calculative they are and why they do.
But no one is interested in Africa developing too much.
They are and
You know what they're showing? This is actually a corridor, bro. And it's happening in Congo, right? So there's two corridors, bro. The Chinese corridor come from Zambia, drive through all the mines in Congo, and get out in Tanzania. And the American want their own type of corridors.
Which is what?
Which will go also from Zambia throughout Congo and then Angola. But the funny thing is, we also have a port that is actually there. Like our port is, right? You know a country, right? So now instead of using that money to build a new port, right, they're just gonna be extracting minerals that will come from there into Angola and into another port, and Congo is not gonna win much.
And this is what IBRAHIM Traoré is talking about.
And they made
leaders.
And in the deal, they actually made it clear that we are here for exports, but we're not here to
do nothing.
No.
And then the country is dying, and this is what, and that's why we wanted us to touch on this segment, because this is exactly what IBRAHIM Traoré is talking about. Okay, so let's listen carefully.
If tomorrow it starts refining its oil, if tomorrow it starts doing agriculture and transforming its agricultural products, it will no longer buy our imports. And so we are not interested in that situation. We are not.
Yeah, and which is actually the wrong way of thinking of things, bruh. Because I mean, if those countries are developed, bruh, and your product are good, bruh, we still gonna buy it.
Bro, what is it? Was it in I think North Korea or South Korea? When the economy became fine, people started buying Apple products. There's like a boom rush, and people were even rating Mercedes-Benz from Germany. But obviously understand that for them, we are talking about the whole ecosystem of an economic structure where, dude, understand, if they don't just get our minerals, right, we now have to sell to them.
Bro. No, if they refine it, bro, it's gonna be more. Africa is gonna have more buying power, bro, but it's also not gonna create jobs there. So
yes, exactly.
You gotta pick. It's either you create jobs there or you create jobs.
Listen to how blatantly he says we are not interested in Africa developing too much.
Yeah, he said it, bro.
Guys, it's about time we wake up and take ourselves very serious.
Not interested. So the will of the rich countries. We're talking about geopolitics today. Everywhere we see, there is clearly no interest in these countries developing. These less developed countries.
Please watch this video carefully. You will understand the main reasons why Western powers prevent African countries from developing properly.
There was this idea, actually in people's minds, that you develop a country with entrepreneurs. It's an important part, but it's not the main part. An industry is needed, a heavy industry. These countries export oil, export cocoa, export raw materials, but these raw materials they export are often processed in other countries. And processing is what creates jobs.
Une compagnie étrangère qui s'installe. Je prends toujours l'exemple du Congo Brazzaville que je connais bien.
When you have a foreign company setting up, I always take the example of Congo Brazzaville, which I know well. Congo Brazzaville, over 90%, only exports oil.
And by the way, there's two Congo. There's
DRC and Brazil, yeah.
This oil is produced by whom? Exploited by whom?
Initially one thing, but you know, the Berlin Conference and all of that.
By mostly private companies. 60% total, 30% E&I. The Italian, 90% of the company. Then you have a few companies here and there, private ones. The public Congolese oil company is unable to do drilling. It is unable to exploit all of its oil. It collects part of the money, but it is unable to exploit it.
So technically they just pay tax, bruh. And the company that is implanted in there, bruh, don't actually process, bruh. They don't still process.
Dude,
they just extract.
You hear
and
what they
send
you
it
hear what
away,
they
bruh.
did, dude. They use an explicit term, exploit.
Exploit.
It says it all.
That's what exploitation is, bruh. You're not charging nothing out of it. You get it?
Yeah, being
Exploit all of
exploited.
its oil. It collects part of the money, but it is unable to exploit it. So all
And
the
the
knowledge-
money that's being collected is only being collected by the leaders and being sent to their Swiss bank accounts. Just like your guy that's traveling all over. He's never in the country, but you know he's the president. It's just that it squeeze those cheeks, bro, dry.
on production, on reserves, on the quantities. Production volumes are decided by the private company.
Oh yeah, but we can actually stop there because moral of the story, guys, we'll put in this videos in the link,
Yeah,
right, in the description. Watch it, self-educate, very important, guys. So let's support, let's push this narrative. You know, let's make the noise. There are countries that are doing it. Hopefully Ghana joins in the journey. And yeah, Africa, one country at a time. We hopefully, like I always used to ask myself, will we live to see an Africa that's just as equal to all the other countries? I don't really care.
No,
It's just what we think. And we don't have to follow what everyone else is doing. Look at what's happening to our kids. You know what I mean? But the story segment for another day.
Let's just do everything. So for me, I think one thing we have to do is very important thing is let's try and industrialize, guys. Like the
Decolonize our
the
minds.
country actually needs to invest a lot into like every single main raw material that you have and potential that comes to farming as well, bro. I feel like the government should really invest into it and also invest in the youth.
I think
Because we do have small projects that can turn out into big, bro. You never know, bro. Also like having a fund, like a fund that's just made for the youth and to
Botswana.
invest
Yeah.
in.
You get land. The government, I think, gives you land. They give you seeds. They come mow it for you.
Exactly.
Free education.
Exactly.
Guys, learn about the African countries that are already pioneering. So let's learn. The more
And
we
for
know
me,
about
that's-
each other, you know what I mean? The more motivated. That's the seed that will motivate the next great person to go and put Africa on a different course. Let's buy our own products. Let's just not, because America says this or because the European countries say this, now we have to. No, standardization just means how do we communicate at a global level. But we are just as great as everyone. Let's learn about ourselves. Let's improve ourselves. Let's work on ourselves and let's work with each other. And leaders are just there to sort of like distract you. You can really tell what's good and what's bad. 2 years has been enough for one man to do a lot of things. Imagine a whole continent. Africa, stand up.
We need to do this together, bro. Anyway.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
We out.
Peace and pan.